Hello, everyone, and welcome to Montana State University's Webinar Wednesday. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us this evening to learn more about life on campus. Now, before we get too far into it, I do just want to share some technical information with each of you. You'll notice that you're not able to turn on your video or use your microphone. But with that being said, there is a chat feature that each and every one of you are able to use and will be encouraged to use throughout this evening. It's located in the bottom right-hand corner on the screen. So please feel free to ask questions through that, interact with our presenters tonight. That is available for you. Now, on the other end of the chat, we also have some other admissions counselors who are going to be answering questions. And then we'll also have time available at the very end of this presentation to answer questions live. So please do not hesitate to use that chat feature. If you are having any technical issues, you can see on the screen a number to call in as well as the access code. So please don't hesitate to use that if anything does come up. Now, tonight we have some amazing presenters with us. First off, my name is Caitlin, so I'm just the host tonight. I'm not the important person this evening. And I'm an admissions counselor at MSU, so I get to meet with prospective students and families every single day. If any questions come up about the admissions process, next steps, anything like that, that's kind of what I do. So please do not hesitate to reach out. We also have Molly Lammers from the Office of Student Engagement, and then James Tobin from Residence Life. So those are going to be our presenters. And to kick us off, we actually have Molly, who's going to talk about the Office of Student Engagement. So I'm going to hand it off to Molly, and we'll get going.
Awesome. Thanks, Caitlin. Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. My name is Molly Lammers. I am the Assistant Director here in the Office of Student Engagement at Montana State University. I've been with MSU for the past 5 years as a professional. So tonight, I'm going to be talking to you about why MSU is the place to be, why it's engaging, and how to make the most of your collegiate experience. So on the next slide, I'm going to be telling you about Would You Rather. So I see that there's right now 52 attendees, and so we're going to play a game. So I want you to look to your left, look to your right, talk to your friends, family members, and answer a few questions. So play along at home, or you can type into the chat box. But the only rule is that you have to play with gusto. You have to say it out loud, really loud. Okay, so would you rather go to a comedy night or attend an art show at an art gallery? Anyone? I think I would like to go to a comedy show right now. I'm kind of missing some people. Okay, how about next? Would you rather get paid to be a student DJ or get paid to be a student writer for the school newspaper? Real cash money in your pocket as a student. Okay, how about next? Would you rather volunteer during spring break on the Oregon coast, or would you rather take a trip to Puerto Rico and volunteer there? I don't know about you, but right now in Montana, we have about 8 inches of snow. It's about 32 degrees, and I would probably take Puerto Rico right now to be on the beach. Okay, how about next? Would you rather join a political club or join a club sport? Okay, next. Would you rather go to a trivia night or a hypnotist show? I'm pretty okay at trivia, but I have been hypnotized at least twice. Next question is, would you rather go ice skating or go kayaking? Kayaking in a pool, kayaking in a lake or a stream. And the last one, would you rather attend a concert or go to a movie? Okay, so good news, folks, you don't have to pick because you can do it all with OSE. So on the next screen, I'll tell you who we are. So who are we? We're the hub for students interested in connecting with their fellow Bobcats. So we have a few different branches. We have the student government, which is ASMSU, which I'll explain here in just a minute. We have clubs and organizations, programs and events, and community and service. So we'll go through individually so you can get a snapshot of everything that we provide for MSU. So the first one on the next page is ASMSU, or the Associated Students of MSU. So this is a group of students who come together. They're elected every year and they represent your student voice. So we have college reps from every college and at-large senators. We also look at civic engagement. So an example is in November, we had a ballot box in our office run by the students. So as you voted in Gallatin County of Bozeman, you can come bring your drop-off ballot and put it right in that box. We also lobby at the state legislature for student voices, and we pass initiatives to make MSU home. And now when I say we, I say ASMSU. So on the next page, I'll tell you what that looks like. So it's actually students. It's not boring adults like me, Molly Lammers. It's students that you elect and that represent you. So what that really looks like is these students come together every Thursday night to hold Senate meetings. You can also be a part of that too by logging on to a webinar just like this, where you can have public comment. All of these senators also hold office hours, and they are real students who advocate for real change on this campus. So if you want anything done on this campus that you don't see happening, you can talk to your ASMSU senator and they can get it done for you. So on the next page, I'll tell you about the programs that are put on by ASMSU. So every semester, every student pays student fees. So all those student fees goes to support these programs and many more. So as you can see, here's a list. Your money goes to supporting recreational sports and fitness, outdoor recreation, sustainability, the Procrastinator Theater, which is a theater on campus. We show movies that are right out of the box office for $1 or $2 a piece. We also have an ASMSU preschool, so any students who have kids can enroll them in preschool. We also host the Leadership Institute, any notary services, the MSU Exponent, which is the student newspaper, KGLT Radio, which is our radio station, and Arts and Exhibits. So that's where you can go see the art gallery and participate in the student art market. One more on the list is on the next page that I really want to highlight. This is a highlight of the community partnership. It's called the Streamline Bus. They have these bright yellow buses that go around town. It provides free public transportation to everyone in Bozeman and the surrounding area. So some of your student fees go straight into providing transportation for the community through this bus. We also have a late night bus that goes from downtown Bozeman up to campus. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights. And then we also have a campus shuttle that goes from campus to the Bozeman Airport, any breaks on the beginning and at the end of breaks. So speaking of community partnership, on the next page, we'll talk about community engagement. So we have had in, I guess, 2019, over 600 student volunteers provide 1,500 hours of community service. Isn't that amazing? 600 students providing 1,500 community hours. And that looks like they did that with 19 community partners. So we do that with a few different ways. So you're saying, Molly, tell me more about community engagement. I'm really interested. So on the next page, I'll tell you how. So community engagement looks like a lot of different things. We have Service Saturday that happens the first Saturday of every month. We also have the Breaks Away program. So this is where students go over spring break to, say, like the Oregon coast in the Would You Rather questions, but they also go all over the United States to perform a week-long service project. On our next screen, we're going to have a video about our biggest service project called Rockin' the M. Awesome. So if any of these videos tonight are a little grainy, you can also find them on our website at montana.edu/engagement. So highlighting this project called Rockin' the M, every single year we walk up Mount Baldy to the big M that's plastered on the side of the mountain that's bright white. Well, how does it get bright white? Well, we have volunteers who bring up gallons of bright white paint and paint it by hand and reposition rocks so it stays that bright, crisp M. In 2020, 2020, we still participated in this. We had 100 gallons of paint and 100 volunteers, which is pretty amazing. They hiked up the 2-mile trail and rebuilt the M and painted it all day long. So this next video that we're going to watch is our kickoff community event of Convocation Service Saturday. Okay, so convocation means an action of calling people together for a really great purpose. So Convocation Service Saturday is the first service Saturday of every year. We kick it off with about 200 student volunteers going to about 15 different places across the Gallatin Valley to donate their time to great causes. And then every month after that, on the first Saturday of every month, we have these service Saturday opportunities for you to come and get involved in your community. It's extremely easy to get involved, but say, what if that's like not your thing? But that's totally cool, because on the next page, I'll tell you about our campus events and programs. So these are our outward facing events that the Office of Student Engagement puts on. This is like super easy involvement. You just show up, you have the fun, and then you go home. It's like really easy for you to get involved on campus. And all of these events are free, F-R-E-E, free. So you don't have to pay a single dollar to come and hang out and win great prizes and get involved. A lot of these also have really great prizes and food. So on the next page, I'll tell you how this is all done. We have a team of students called the PACE team. They're the Programs and Campus Events team, and they get together. They're students who are directing events from the beginning to end, and they're the ones who put on all of these comedy shows, the concerts, the contracted entertainers. They're the ones who set up the ice skating rink that we currently have behind the gym right now. They also host trivia and much, much more. To show you, to kind of like underline this, our next video is from the Golden Lights concert in 2019. So please sit back and enjoy. So again, if these videos are a little choppy, I'll make sure that the admissions teams gets all of the links to all of our videos so that you could see them in full quality. The reason why we're showing a lot of videos is because I can sit here all day and tell you how fun it is to be a student at Montana State University and how easy it is to get involved. But it takes it to a different level when you're able to actually see how much fun these students are having. So our office is also in charge of all the clubs and organizations. So what that really looks like is last year we had 224 registered student organization clubs, 25 registered sports, for a total of 269 registered student organizations. About 40% of our students are involved in some sort of student org, which I think is a really cool and pretty neat statistic. So on the next page, I'm going to tell you the easiest equation to get involved. So a club equals 10 people plus an advisor. So you can check out our webpage for a whole list of student clubs and organizations. But if you see something that's not offered in that 269 clubs and organizations, say you want like a donut club where you get together, you get all the donuts from around Bozeman, and you get to say which one is better and rank them on a scale of like 1 to 10, right? You just need 10 people plus an advisor, a staff advisor who works at Montana State University, and there you go, you have your club. The other really neat thing about this is that your student fee dollars goes directly to support clubs. So you get to invest back into your interests. As an example, we give about $100,000 to these clubs to reinvest into their passions. So we could pay you to go and get all of those donuts so that you could have a whole buffet of donuts to rank on a scale of 1 to 10. And I think that that's pretty cool because you don't have to spend your own money. On the next page, I'll tell you how we manage it all. So you might be saying to yourself, gosh, Molly, there seems to be a lot of things going on campus, but how on earth am I going to know where to go? Well, we got you covered. So there's this thing called Cats Connect. It's an app. It's a useful tool for you to stay up to date with what's going on around campus, whether it's our events, club events, or college events. You can join student organizations, you can register your student organizations, and then you can check out the events. So this next video is how Cats Connect all works. So I don't know if you all caught that, but you're able to search by events by free food, which I think is pretty cool because, you know, all college students are hungry, right? So you can search by free food, show up to an event, get food in your belly, learn something, and then go to your next class, which I think is way, way, way awesome. So the last thing that I'm going to talk about is, you know, gosh, you just got to MSU and now what? Like, how do you start your engagement? How do you meet new friends? How do you get plugged in and involved? So the answer is MSU Debut. So debut happens in the first 3 weeks of every semester. So our office helps host it with a lot of other satellite offices to put on some really awesome experiences for you. On the next page, I'll show you about our signature event called Catpalooza. So you may have heard of this before. Catpalooza is an engagement fair. We have about 200 to 300 different groups who register, and you get to walk up and down the Centennial Mall and meet each one of them. You get free stuff, you get to get plugged in with your Bozeman community, your MSU community, and it's way fun. Other events include concerts, movies on the wall, and much more. So it's such an immersive experience, and it's easy for you to attend, and it gets you involved right off the bat in your collegiate experience. The next video is all about MSU debut.
Congratulate you on making the choice that you did to attend the greatest university in Montana. All visitors of Montana State Fair. You're now Bobcat for life.
I wanted to do some community service with the school now that I just started. And yeah, just get involved. Hopefully continue doing it for the next few years.
Welcome to community members of Bozeman and Greater Humboldt. Welcome back to all of our returning students. Welcome to the faculty, the staff, administrators, and all of them. Welcome to all Bozeman family. But most importantly, and what's nice all about, welcome the graduating class of 2023 to the MSU Bobcat family.
So I know that that was maybe a little choppy for some of you, but I got so pumped and excited to watch football and, you know, all the football players coming onto the field. You also saw some of our big debut events, such as the M photo, where all the freshman class gets a bright yellow t-shirt, gets into the shape of the M on the football field, and we take a really great picture. You also saw our block party, convocation service Saturday, Rockin' the M, and much more. So we really are looking forward to having you on campus. We hope that you choose Montana State University. And to stay up to date with our office, all of our events and programs, please follow us. We're on Facebook and Instagram at MSUOSE. Please follow us. Thanks for joining us on a Wednesday night. And I'll hand it over to Tobin, James Tobin.
Perfect. Thanks, Molly, very much. I appreciate it. Lots of energy there, and hopefully with the residence life side and the residence halls, we can kind of just mirror that in terms of opportunities and ways for you to get involved that you're going to live on campus with us in the residence halls. So a little bit about myself. I'm an associate director for residence life. I've been at Montana State University for about 13 years. And so I work mostly in our main office on applications, assignments, and our operations side. So most of what you see today is all of the application information, selecting your living options, with a little bit of information about what fall could look like in terms of mail and other services that are in the residence halls. So hopefully we can cover just a little bit about what life on campus is like in the halls, and then give you an opportunity to ask questions in the chat feature or contact our office afterwards. But hopefully we can give you a sense of what it's like, even though you can't be there physically right now. So as we get started, I want to talk a little bit about our live on requirement. And so it's not necessarily something that we just implemented at MSU. It is something that the Montana Board of Regents has put into place. And so we are required for all new entering students to the university for them to live on campus for 1 full year or 2 semesters. You are allowed to file for an exemption if you meet certain criteria. That exemption request goes through a committee, and we just have to make sure that that's vetted. But we do ask that you take at least a full credit load of 12 per semester at the minimum. If there are exceptions or other requests that you're looking to take less than 12, feel free to contact our office and we can talk you through that process. However, we do look for those requirements, and the goal really is just to allow you that opportunity to not have to worry about other things such as bills or utilities as you transition from high school to college, as you begin that experience on your own without students or without parents and kind of that guidance of high school around you. You kind of have that first breath of freedom at college, and so we want to make sure that we offer that support system on campus. So as we start to dive into some of our living options tonight, we want to talk a little bit about the diversity that we have in terms of all of the living options on our campus are available. We have a few that are sophomore and above that we will talk through. But what's one of the highlights of our department is that the diversity of living options on our campus is something that we pride ourselves on. And one of the things that if a student is struggling with roommates or their living option or their building, we really want to talk to them about what's happening, because we might have a different setup in a different residence hall that might work a little bit better. So we do have double and single rooms. Our newest building in Highlight Hall has triple rooms. So we do have that. Obviously with COVID, we've kind of tried to scale back a little bit in terms of those triple rooms. We do have co-ed options, and that allows students to live either on a co-ed floor with females and males live on opposite ends of the floor. It also allows us to have single gender floors. So one floor is male, and then the next floor above or below is female. So we alternate back and forth. So we do have co-ed buildings, and we'll talk about those in a minute. We also have our single gender buildings. So Langford, Hopner, and Hanan. Langford being all male, Hopner and Hanan being all female. And so those buildings do have quite a bit of popularity for some students. And so we want to make sure that students know about them, and we do have some living learning communities housed within those buildings. We've talked about the co-ed floors, and then we also have suite and semi-suites available. So our suite options are listed in Headwaters Complex, and we'll talk through those in a minute, as well as our semi-suites that we have available in Yellowstone Hall. We have a small selection of apartments that we have for students that live on campus. And while they've kind of been repurposed over the years, we'll talk a little bit about what those look like as we move throughout our options here in a minute. Diving into our living learning communities, we want to talk a little bit about the fact that we have a wide variety. While we don't touch on all of the academic majors and the academic colleges that we have on our campus, we do touch on a few of the big ones. So business, creative arts, which is set up for anybody who's in the College of Arts and Architecture, emerging leaders, engineering, honors. Those students who have been accepted into the honors program are qualified and able to live in quads, a specific floor in South Hedges, a small community in Langford, and a small community in Hanan. A sense of place floor in South Hedges for those that are just kind of looking to see what is college all about? What kind of major am I looking for? I know I want to get a degree, but I don't really know what I want to get a degree in. So the sense of place floor is really for those students that are trying to figure out what their major is. And our goal is to really encompass all the residents on that floor to really reach out with services and resources, advisors and presentations, and really allow our students to, within the first semester, really start to identify what is of interest and where they might be able to send some of those classes as they progress through their college career. And then we also have a Wellbeing LLC, and our Wellbeing LLC currently is in Yellowstone. That option is for both kind of the mental and the physical and the kind of whole person well-being in terms of how are you doing outside of class? How are you getting active? How are you getting engaged? Maybe it's trying to connect you with some of the things that Molly talked about. Maybe it's a student club. Maybe it's trying to find connections with other people, but really looking for that well-being of you as a person in college as a freshman. And then we also do have a mixed gender housing option. It is not a living learning community, but it is a living option on our campus. We house it in Madison Hall, which, as we talked about briefly, is one of our suite style buildings. Mixed gender housing option is for anybody who wants to live with other students regardless of gender or identity. And so we do have 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, and 4-bedroom options. And this living option has been quite popular with all of our students who have been interested in living with other friends, whether they are male or female or other, living with just kind of other freshman students who are trying to figure life out. And so we really want to allow students that opportunity to just live with people that they're comfortable with, live with people that they are friends with, or just get to know others on campus. So we're going to go briefly through kind of we touch on the overview of our halls. We'll start with our west side of campus, which is our area with our high rises or our co-ed buildings, Roski Hall, North Hedges Hall, South Hedges, and Yellowstone. What is missing from the slide, but just to kind of touch on it, is Highlight, which is our newest building. It's quite popular, and we started receiving applications October 1st, but wanted to kind of touch on what our co-ed buildings are, what they look like. So occupancies are anywhere from 400 to 650 people. They are single, double, and triple rooms. They are semi-suites like we talked about. Most of them have a ski wax room. So if you're interested in waxing skis or snowboards, there's a specific area in the building for that to happen. We've talked about the living learning communities. So we really try to centralize those living learning communities in a specific area. We also are bringing back next year a service center, a success center, the Den in South Hedges, which really connects students with the Alan Yarnell Center for Student Success. So really connecting you with career coaches, academic coaches, academic advisors, really trying to set students up with resources right in the residence halls that they can receive the services without having to go very far. And then the other thing we have is a resident help desk for students who have technology questions or issues with laptops, cell phones, iPads, things like that. And then the beautiful thing about this side of campus is that they're in very close proximity to Miller Dining Hall. So Miller was recently renovated in the last couple of years. It has gone through an overhaul of not only its menu, but its services, its look, its appearance, and it is directly connected to North and South Hedges. So as Molly talks about the fact that it is extremely cold and snowy in Montana right now, those students who live in North and South Hedges can just directly walk into the building without having to go outside. So there are some advantages of being on that side of campus. I would encourage you to look at some of the options and the pictures that are on our website for kind of visuals of the insides of those buildings. As we switch over to the other side of campus, it is our smaller buildings. So we want to talk specifically about Hapner and Hanan halls. Hapner and Hanan are all female buildings, as I mentioned earlier. They are about 300 people per building. They have common area kitchens, whether that's on the floor or in the lobby area of the building. We talked about the living learning communities in Hanan, both engineering and honors. We have both of those communities in Hanan, and we'll talk about quads in just a minute. Both of the buildings have sinks in the rooms, which allows our students that kind of flexibility and efficiency of not having to use the restroom all the time, being able to kind of have all of those items in your room. We do offer ski lockers in Hapner for those that want to store skis or snowboards. And then we do have weight rooms in both of our buildings if you choose to use the weight rooms in the buildings versus at the rec center. As we move over to Langford, it's our all-male building. It's about 425 students. Again, a common area kitchen that's in the main lobby of the building. We do have the engineering, living, learning community, a ski wax room in the building, as well as a weight room, and it was remodeled in 2012, about the same time that we remodeled the inside of Hapner Hall as well. So both have been remodeled, and both look fairly new still, with furniture and the amenities inside of the building as well. Langford tends to be full of engineering students, whether they're part of the living learning community or not. Both Langford, or all of Langford, Hapner, and Hanan are in close proximity to Rendezvous Dining Hall. So Rendezvous is our newest dining hall on campus, and is literally right across the street from Langford. So it's in close proximity for those that are looking for the dining halls on the other side of campus. The quads are a unique set of buildings that are housing our honors students. And so we have about 25 students per building. Some students like to refer to our quads as the Harry Potter area of campus because they have a little bit of an older look to the buildings. And so there are 6 quads. There are 2 per kind of building or unit. They have a common area kitchen. The quads tends to be one of our highest retention rate areas on campus. They tend to click and create lifelong friendships. They're very close in friendships and relationships in classes. They just tend to build very strong bonds. There are single and double rooms in the quads. It is very popular amongst those students who are in the honors college. And so we would tell you that if you're interested in this, to talk to us as quickly as possible, as they are and will fill up very quickly. The quads is also part of the Hanan community. So the RAs that are in the quads are also connected to Hanan, and they have one staff together. So there is an RA in each of the quads. And so there is somebody there to assist our residents and to help them out should they have any questions. The ResLife Apartments are, I'll touch on them briefly. They are apartment style for residence hall students. They are under review for next fall. I want to cover them so that if we do allow students to live in them, that you're aware of them. Right now, they're under review in terms of what the plan is for that housing area for next fall. However, they are 3- and 4-person apartments, single and double rooms. There is a meal plan requirement, so if you live in the apartments, you are required to have a meal plan. However, we do have a full RA staff down there as well. So there are direct access to staff members and services, and so they're in direct connection with our students. As we look at Johnstone Center, it is one of our, what we like to call a slight eyesore on campus in terms of it's the only pink building on campus. It holds that fame on the college, or the corner of College and 8th Street. However, it is a unique community and one that continues to be strong. We have 3 wings in Johnstone. The farthest wing is Mullen, and then there are 2 wings of 21 and over and sophomore and above students. So as we talk about sophomore and above options, this is one community that tends to have a little bit of an older population for prior and culture, but in our Mullen wing tends to be a very vibrant co-ed community. It is a little bit quieter at times for those that are looking for just a smaller community, but looking to live in an area with freshmen that are 18, 19 years old. There's a full RA staff. The building is right across the street from, next to Langford and across the street from Rendezvous. So it's all in close proximity to all of our other buildings on that side of campus, and tends to just be a very fun environment, especially for those students who just want to interact or be close to the other side of campus in a more co-ed environment. I would recommend looking at Mullen Hall as an option. In terms of what's in a room, when you move in, we will provide you with most of the furniture amenities that you'll need in order to make it through your freshman year of school. All of our buildings, except for Roski and the Quads, come with twin extra long mattresses. So when you're shopping for the linens or purchasing linens, you'll want to make sure that you look for the twin XL mattress size sheets. If you are assigned to the Roski or Quads areas, you'll want to make sure to look for standard twin, as those mattresses are just a little bit shorter by a couple of inches. So just want to make sure that you're aware of that. All of our residence hall rooms come with a desk and a desk chair, trash can, closet, storage spaces, window blinds and curtains. You can see in that bottom picture, they provided or brought their own. You can certainly bring your own and dress it up with 3M hooks and kind of a rod and put your own dress up to the room to make it personal, but wanted to make sure that you knew that there is basic amenities in the room to begin with. We also provide wired and wireless internet in all of our rooms and in all of our common areas. And we've continued to boost up the speed of that internet and the amount of space that students can use on the internet as we kind of have moved forward with our technology. All of the furniture that is provided in the room must stay in the room for the duration of their time in the halls. So they can bring in additional furniture. Some will bring in an extra chair, or they'll bring in a futon that can fit underneath the loft. But all of our university furniture has to stay in the room when the student leaves the residence halls. I want to talk briefly about our RAs. They are some of the best student support that I have been working with on campus. I think Molly can share that we have multiple groups on campus, whether they're advocates or admissions support, or whether they're OSE students, or whether they're RAs. They go through a rigorous search in terms of finding our RAs. We have a very competitive search. We are in the middle of our process for selection for the fall. We have about 104 to 110, depending on the year. And they really serve as a resource for our students. We have at least one RA on every floor. Some have two, depending on the number of students and or gender on the floor. They are at least sophomore and above students, so they've been on campus for at least one full year. And they have gone through at least the 10 days of training in the fall, as well as ongoing training in the spring if they get hired and go through the selection process, as well as some training over the summer. And so they are held to an extremely high level of expectations by their resident director, and they're there to help our students. I can tell you that some of our RAs have developed, again, lifelong friendships with their residents. Some of them have gone off and gotten houses together off campus their second, third, or fourth year, and they even to this day continue to be connected. So I would tell you that our RAs will be there to help support our students every step along the way. As they do that, they're also going to be there to help out and support our roommates and roommate conflicts. And so what we want to make sure is that students understand that on the housing application, there is 15 to 20 questions that we ask our students to fill out, and they are considered our profile questions. I would just tell you that we can't encourage or strongly encourage enough that our students are the ones filling out the profile questions. We love our parents and we love our guardians that are helping our students fill out their housing application, but we really need to know what the students' interests are, what the students' habits are, what they're looking for in terms of a roommate. And we really use these questions in order to pair up our roommates. So just want to put that out there. We will facilitate room changes and roommate changes from March all the way until August. If there's ever an issue with the roommate, please feel free to call our office and we'd be happy to help out with whatever questions or issues that you might have. So briefly, because I get this question a lot, is what about mail and packages? And one of the things I can tell you is that our front desks are open 24/7. They handle all of our mail and packages from our residence hall students. They are notified when a package arrives. So if a parent ships a package to a student, it will arrive at the front desk. They will get notified that it has arrived and it is ready for pickup. And then we'll go ahead and distribute that mail when they stop by the front desk with a photo ID. As we look for fall of 21, we would ask that all mail packages, you are encouraged to ship items prior to your arrival so you don't have to travel with it, especially for those that are flying. But if you are coming, we ask that you ship for arrival after the 16th of August so that we don't have to manage a whole bunch of packages in July or June, but we can manage it closer to when school starts. So keep that in mind as we go forward in the calendar getting ready for fall of 21. And then the most popular thing that we get outside of your room is where am I going to eat and what am I going to do? So we offer 2 dining halls on campus, and we offer a unique dining hall structure. So we offer meal packages based on days versus per meal swipes. And so one of the things that we pride ourselves on is that I might be on a 5-day meal plan. So I might have a bronze or a copper meal plan, and I will be able to go into either Miller or Rendezvous because they're open to all of our on-campus students. And I can go in for breakfast, and then I can go in for a snack at like 10 o'clock. And then I can go in for lunch. Then I might go in for dinner, and then I might go in for a snack after dinner right before I start doing my homework. All of those swipes that I did and used my CAT card for don't cost me any more than I've already paid for my meal plan on campus. So the 5-day plan covers you from Monday to Friday, and the 7-day plan covers you for 7 days a week. And so we want to make sure that our students understand that you select a meal plan when you fill out your housing application. If you have any questions about that, let us know. And then right now, the dining halls are open 7 to 7, 7 days a week. So just know as we look forward to fall, kind of where we're at. So with all of that, you now need to make choices with your housing application. And so we want to make sure that you understand that the priority date is March 1st. We will start assignments on March 2nd, and we will continue to go through that process. Our assignments are made on an application date. So as soon as you make the application prepayment, which is $300 non-refundable, then we'll go ahead and start applying all of the information that you filled out on your application, and we'll start making those assignments on March 2nd. The application opened on October 1st, so we tell you that only to understand that already we've received a lot of applications for fall of 21 if that's when you're coming to campus, and we want to make sure to encourage you to fill out that application through our website as quickly as possible, sometime within the next couple of weeks before the March 1st priority date. As we turn the page and look at when we're going to communicate with you, one of the things that we want you to understand is that we'll be sending out all of our communication via email to you, to the student's preferred email account. So as we go forward to looking to housing and communication plan, which is on the next slide, I would just tell you that we will start sending out information at the end of March. So Caitlin, if you want to go forward just one slide for me. Perfect, thank you. So as we send all of that out, we are making a slight change to our process. And so we will be sending out roommate information at the end of March, which is earlier than we've done it in the past. However, we are making a slight change to allow you, the student, to make changes to your housing assignment if you're not happy with where we've put you to begin with in our first round of assignments. So more information will be coming out through email, but we'll start sending that out at the end of March as we get closer to April. So there's lots to look forward to, lots of exciting things coming up. Once you get the housing application done, you're kind of in a holding pattern for a little bit, and then we'll get going on some of that housing assignment information in April. And then very shortly after that, we'll pass you off, get you all signed up with clubs and organizations that Molly talked about, and we'll get you all connected before you arrive on campus. So as we wrap up, we just want to make sure that you understand how excited we are to have you on campus. This has been exciting to share information and to start really thinking about fall of 21 in the year that we're currently in. It's exciting to look forward into what's coming. So with that, I'll turn it over to Caitlin and to kind of go through any questions or wrap up from there. But thanks again for letting us share the information tonight.
Awesome. Well, first off, thank you so much, James and Molly, for joining us this evening. I don't know about all of the listeners out there, but this made me want to go back to college. So hopefully this is informational and got you all hyped up and pumped for what's to come. So it looks like we do have a few questions here that came through. So the first one, Molly, can a student be a part of ASMSU as a freshman?
Absolutely. We love freshman experience so that you could come in, you bring some fresh new eyes and new knowledge into being either a senator as an at-large senator or to being a student employee. We would love to hire you and we would love you to be involved as much or as little as you want.
Awesome. And then another question is regarding the living learning community. So really, what are some of the big benefits for students? Like why would you choose to be a part of one of those?
Yeah, great question. And we get this question a lot in terms of the value. And what we would tell you is that you're living on a floor with other students who are taking similar classes with you. You're able to study together in a close proximity to others around you that are in the same major. There's also some advantages in terms of the programming that we offer for those that are in the living learning communities is above and beyond what you might get in the classroom in your major. We have opportunities for you to have special meals with faculty and professors. We offer you the opportunity to sit through presentations and events that might only be offered for those in a living learning community that are surrounding your major. If you're not interested in business as a major, but you're interested in business as maybe a hobby, you can certainly continue to be interested in the business LLC as an example. So you're not required to be in the major, but we are asking you to opt in and we are asking you to have an interest in that topic because those students will be kind of involved in other things on campus and in the residence halls that only living learning community students have the option to attend.
Awesome, thank you. And one big question that I think comes up pretty consistently is what have events in the residence halls looked like this academic year with the ongoing pandemic?
Yeah, I think both Molly and I can speak to some of that across campus. I briefly just mentioned that it has been difficult on campus to host events. We are bound by county health guidelines in terms of the number of people that we can have in an event, what space we can use, where we can do it. So a lot of our events have been virtual. We have nightly events and weekly events on campus in terms of whether it's Singo or whether it's trivia nights that are happening through WebEx, similar to what you're looking at tonight. So we have lots of things that we're doing virtually. We are also using our friends at Outdoor Recreation to get our students out of the residence halls, engaged off campus. But it has been difficult. Our hope is that by the time we get to fall of 21, that we can get back to some of what we used to do, some of our traditional events on campus, and trying to get students outside and still be healthy at the same time. So Molly, I don't know if you have anything to share in terms of events that have happened on campus and what that looks like this year.
Absolutely, James. I think I would echo your sentiments exactly. Some of the things that the Office of Student Engagement have done, besides a lot of the virtual events, the small trivias and bingos and singos, but we've also implemented grab and go bags, which have been extremely popular. So just about every other week outside of our office, we put out 100 to 300 little paper bags where people could come and grab an activity and go home and do it with their friends and family. So what that could look like is we had a tie-dye kit. So in the kit was all the tie-dye materials, all the rubber bands, the rubber gloves, etc. And then bandanas and I was going to say band-aids, that's not true. Bandanas and socks to tie-dye. And then the people who could do those asynchronously at home can post onto our social media to show us their final product. So it's been extremely popular for people who maybe don't even want to be around other people, not only because of COVID-19, just because, you know, they'd rather go back and hang out with their roommates at home. They can grab that and go back to wherever they want to and still be involved.
Awesome. Well, that is all we have time for tonight, but just another huge thank you to Molly and James for being here, and then to everyone who tuned in this evening. Technology is going to do what it's going to do. So like Molly said, all the videos and such will be linked with the follow-up email you all will receive afterwards. this video will also be posted in the morning. So if you want to come back and learn more, you can absolutely do that. On the screen, I encourage you to take a picture or a screenshot because it has all of our contact information. So as questions are bound to come up as you start making these decisions and going throughout the rest of your semester, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We are here for you. All of our offices are here. But with that, thank you again, and I hope everyone has a great evening.